What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So it might be a little echoey in here. I'm actually not too sure. I'm moving into a new place like I stated, and I literally have nothing in this room. The fan is on because I'm burning hot. I'm sweating like crazy. But I say that all because even though I'm in testing times, even though I have to make videos while I'm moving, I still am able to look at a phone like the iPhone SE and feel so much better about myself. And I'm not even just trying to suck up to Apple at this point because I've already said so much negative things about Apple. But what I will tell you is I will never bash the iPhone SE in a negative way too many times. I might say some critiques here and there, but I don't think I stand alone here either. I think everyone pretty much as a consensus loves the iPhone SE, and I just want to say a couple reasons as to why that's the case, and even kind of going along why the iPhone SE 2 should be made, and of course I'll probably get into that in a second. But I love the iPhone SE. I think it's one of the best phones ever made, especially from Apple. And I think the main reason why so many people like this phone is because of the size and also the design, but more so the size. When this thing came out, it was still kind of coming out at a time where, big phones were still kind of like the trend. And it's still the trend now. We keep getting bigger and bigger and better phones. But at this time when the iPhone SE was released in 2016, we saw a bunch of huge phones. We saw all those Note lines, the Samsung Galaxy S series having bigger screens than 5 inches. And it was craziness going on. And the iPhone SE came out at a time where, big phones were the thing, and a huge market was kind of being taken out, and those people love these smaller iPhones. And because of that, Apple saw a niche there and they actually developed the iPhone SE, and that's why a huge reason why people even still use this phone. But also going along that side, when Apple released this thing, they didn't make this phone like $500,000. They made this thing competitively priced, and they also made it around the same. They made it cheaper than the iPhone 6s at the time. But the cool thing is that they didn't skimp out on any features, of at least major features, of the iPhone 6s. It brought the Apple A9 chip at the time. It brought the extra gig of RAM, so it had 2 gigs of RAM. It also brought all the software improvements that the iPhone 6s had, and even though the build quality was the same as the iPhone 5s, for the majority of major features at that time in 2016 to even 2015, it didn't really skip out on too much. Now, people do want to say about that Force Touch and 3D Touch thing. At that time, it was a cool feature, but it really wasn't widely known as it is now. So I don't really want to get into that territory. Of course, it didn't really skip out on 3D Touch. Yes, in theory, it did skip out on 3D Touch, but that's a pretty debatable thing. A lot of people bring that up all the time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, though, because me personally, I don't think it was that big of a deal at that time like it is now with the iPhone XR. And kind of going along, like I said, with the specs and the chipset, it had the Apple A9 chip, and because of that, Apple didn't put a half chipset in there. It didn't make it slower than the 6S. It actually kind of made it faster than the 6S because it had the same amount of RAM, same chipset and all that. But because the screen resolution was lower, it actually made it so pixels were being pushed a little bit faster because it didn't have as many pixels to push and begin with. So because of that, Apple really knocked it out of the park with the iPhone SE in terms of that. But in terms of the A9 chipset, this also means that it's getting the same exact software updates as the iPhone 6S. And at that time, I guess it was a little bit debatable, especially even now when iOS 13 was coming out. A lot of people were freaking out about whether it was getting it or not, and as we all know now, the iPhone SE did end up getting iOS 13, which is awesome. So that is definitely a humongous pro for the iPhone SE, and those are just a couple reasons why people love the iPhone SE, man. And especially even now, another cool thing is the storage variants. You had so many different storage variants of that specific phone, so you can go from the cheapest price point to even the most expensive at 128 gigs. So ultimately, I think the iPhone SE is still super relevant, even though it might not be getting iOS 14. But those are just a few reasons as to why we all love the iPhone SE. Like I said, there's going to be some haters out there who don't like it, but for me and a majority of other people, we love the iPhone SE. We salute to you, Apple, for making this phone. Hopefully you can make the second generation of this phone. I would love to see it, but I guess time will tell, bro. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.